I have a question for you guys. How much longer will Apple iPhones have favored nation status when it comes to dodging tariffs on Chinese goods? President Trump telling Fox News last night it could happen if a, quote, great deal isn't reached with China on trade. The president says he will impose new tariffs on the $257 billion worth of Chinese imports that have yet to be touched by the trade war. These items include consumer goods like Apple iPhones, assembled in China, along with sacre bleu, Nike shoes. But Donald Trump also said that great deal with China can still be reached. If not, are we about to see the trade battle ramp up into an all-out war, wounding consumers and global markets? Let's ask Terry Miller. He's former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Economic and Global Issues at the Heritage Foundation now. Terry, what do you think? If you start to encompass things like iPhones, which got a pass the last couple of rounds of tariffs on China, will you start to hear people bellyache more if the price goes up even more?
Sure you will. Nobody wins a trade war. And the United States is not that well positioned to win a trade war with China. China's a command economy. They're really experienced in regulating the behavior of their people. They don't have a democratic system. The president of China is relatively insulated from criticism at home. If things go badly in this trade war, the United States is much more vulnerable to negative public opinion than a government like China.
Well, let's just press the reset button here and look at what's happened already. He slapped $50 billion worth of Chinese goods with 25% tariffs, then 10% tariffs on another $200 billion, which, as we said, leaves $257 billion. Now, if the president collars all remaining Chinese imports with tariffs, what do we need to see at the G20 at the end of November to prevent these guys from, instead of breaking bread, I guess, turning their baguettes into swords and hitting each other over the head with them? What are you gaming for that G20 meeting here?
Yeah, the G20, it's a month away, and the U.S. hasn't done a very good job of being explicit about what it wants from China. If this is just about trade flows and the economy, then frankly, the imposition of tariffs by the U.S. is a disaster. But if we have broader strategic goals in mind, and keep in mind that China's been very aggressive in its posturing. They've established these island bases in the South China Sea. They have what's called the Belt and Road Initiative that's having them invest in countries around the world. If what the U.S. is trying to do really is counter or challenge China's aggressiveness overall, then maybe we can find some better ways to do this than through tariffs. And maybe what the administration ought to be asking for is some more fundamental changes in Chinese behavior.
You mentioned the South China Sea and the aggression there. At what point, though, Terry, must we do something? Because you cannot let that kind of aggression go unmatched. We've seen how that worked before. Russia and Ukraine. You've got to step up and at least do something.
Sure, absolutely. But if you're going to be in this for a long strategic, I don't know if conflict is the right word, but competition with China might be a better word, then maybe the U.S. has to rethink things like the size of our Navy. We're down to only 47 ships in the Western Pacific. Maybe we need more like 100 ships in the Western Pacific. So maybe what we ought to be thinking about is taking a close look at our military capability. When you fight this through a trade war, the problem is that you're hurting Americans. It's Americans that are paying the cost of these tariffs. It's just like a tax increase on us. Well, and I don't think the public will stand for that very long.
Especially if their iPhone, if their next iPhone they want to buy is finally hit with tariffs. We shall see. Terry, thank you for your perspective here. Terry Miller.